Hey guys, this is my review for Season 8, Episode 24, Pyramid, the finale of the 8th season of NCIS. Is it just me, or do we feel old? Okay, first up, just some, of course, random things I loved. They did a whole bunch of external NCIS stuff, you know, nice shots of the building. We usually just get like the same kind of stock footage of it, but we had some nice new shots, which was really awesome. I also liked Vance's office going into a skiff mode. It's great, it's like a panic room, so like the next time there's like a crazy guy on the loose, we can just put Abby and Palmer and anyone else who doesn't have a gun just in there and seal it up and don't have to worry about them. We also got a new rule number 16, so that's great, still adding to the rules. And this is kind of bad, but I kind of took a sick pleasure in the idea that P2P sharpied EJ. Okay, so moving on, a lot of characters in this episode were in peril. EJ, Ziva, Court, Palmer, and 3 of them were lined up in a nice row like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which recurring character should we kill off? It's a little stressful, just a little. Out of them all, the character I was most worried about was Jimmy, especially when he said that he was gonna get married. I thought he was done for sure. Thank God Levin was the only casualty of this episode, or last episode. Oh, Levin, he will be missed. His worth was great. Anyway, point is, can we please have Brian Dietzen in the credits next season? Please, he deserves it. And also, please let the wedding be on screen. You know what's funny? Remember way back when I plugged that fanfic called Bound because it's like a really good Tiva fanfic? Well, it just finished up right before the season finale aired, and guess what? A good chunk of the fic is devoted to Jimmy and Brina's wedding. Like, psychic fanfic author moment. Props to them. As for Ziva, she wasn't in as much of the episode as I thought she would be. Misleading promo and all. But I really wasn't that thrilled with the use of Ziva in this episode. Not because the episode didn't revolve around her rescue, but there's just these 2 scenes in particular that were just really painful to watch. You know, the parts where Ziva's like empathizing with EJ. Absolutely, just hate for EJ aside, it was just really annoying, especially the fact that there was 2 of them. Most of us as an audience, we know her dad's the director of Mossad, reminding us does nothing for the plot. You know, really, how many scenes like this have we had where Ziva's like emphasizing with people because, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, where she's emphasizing with people because she's just been through so much. Yes, I too know what it is like to hold the whole wide world in my hands. And I really don't know what I think about her and Ray. Maybe I missed something, because I thought they broke up. Like, she freaked out at him, and then she told Tony that it was over. And then comes this episode, and they seem together again. And then at the end, he, like, gives her that box, and it's kind of like a promise ring, without the ring part. Not a good move, C.I. Ray. Girls like jewelry. I don't hate them together, but for some reason that I can't quite explain, they just feel misplaced. Like, they stick out of the NCIS world like a sore thumb. Again, I can't explain it. There's just something off about them. So as the promo was misleading, so was Cobb's plan of kidnapping Ziva. He just like stashed her in a totally obvious place, then went on to make his next move in his game of checkers. Let's be honest here. Side note, I would have loved to hear Tony's call to Gibbs about Ziva missing. Gibbs, Ziva's missing, Ziva's missing, Ziva's missing, Ziva's missing, Ziva's missing. Tony, slow down. And just as soon as they find Ziva, Palmer and EJ get kidnapped in one of the best sequences of the episode, mostly thanks to Jimmy. So EJ was being targeted all along because she's the very special niece of Seknav, and that's why Gibbs was kind of wary of her from the beginning. Turns out, not just because she was banging Tony, which I guess he found suspicious, I don't know. You know, it's kind of funny that Ziva was like so mean to EJ, because when you think about it, they have a lot more in common than she would have thought. Oh my god, I forgot to wear earrings, that's really weird, one sec. Moving on to shippage. Glad that they had some McAbby in it, but for some reason during that scene I just felt a little underwhelmed. I don't know, I mean I like Mickey and Abby, but like in this scene I just don't know what their deal is. Like, bottom line, I love McAbby, the scene didn't do anything for me, which sucks. Moving on to Tiva. Not a lot of Tiva, no real problem with that. Only one bit we did get is when they were in the hotel room and Tony's getting really bitchy, and then EJ's all, Tony, we're all worried about Ziva. And Tony's all, I know, it's just different for some of us. EJ, it's not really your fault. You've only been here for like 5 minutes, but take note. Tony doesn't like it when Ziva gets kidnapped and beaten. Cause you know, he can't live without her. So after all the P2P drama was done, we had the very, very sad scene of Mike Franks' funeral. You know, Ghost Mike should have stuck around and like haunted the NCIS addict. That would have been cool. He will be missed. So, as the spoilers said before, we did find out what Gibbs is building in his basement. A coffin. I can't believe I called that. Because if you remember, I said he was building a coffin as like 100% totally a joke, and then what do you know? Gibbs was building a coffin. I don't know what to say. I just have to laugh awkwardly. I no words. Besides the Ziva-ness, there was only one thing that really bothered me in this episode, and that was Mr. P2P. So Cobb was trained by the CIA to be a killer, and that like messed him up. And according to court, he became a monster. Well guys, if you call Project Frankenstein, what exactly do you expect? Yeah, that's right, some sort of twisted Promethean allegory. Now, I wish I could say I've just consumed a few dozen episodes of Criminal Minds and I can give you guys a really nice TV-worthy profile, but this is all I've got. Cobb is an organized killer. He's not disorganized. He is highly evolved and highly intelligent. And, I don't know, he's impotent or something. Who knows? So he seemed, in the beginning, like a normal pattern killer. But it turns out this is some extremely complicated revenge plan involving EJ, Cord, Vance, and Seknav. And all his plans and ice cubes have finally led up to this showdown with EJ as a hostage. Wait, so this guy has EJ in the beginning, all saran wrapped, ready to go, and he leaves her alive as a message. And then continues into elaborate plan involving kidnapping, infiltration, more kidnapping, escape, and finally torture. When I first watched this episode, it honestly felt like a big gaping plot hole, or just this guy was just stupid. But to quote Levin, if we assume he's stupid, that makes us look like imbeciles. At least they, I mean the writers, explained it, sort of. Gibbs said that it was a message to the Seknav that he could be humane. But then he re-kidnaps her and tortures her. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I'm sorry. What? Okay, drum roll, please. Rating-wise, I'm gonna give this one a 4.5 out of 5 possible calf pows. I don't know, there was problems with this episode, but yet I can't really bring myself to give it a low rating because I did think it was overall a good episode. It could have been better, but at least it was better than Rule 51 in my opinion. I really think they should have just borrowed someone from Criminal Minds to handle the whole serial killer things. Like, that was kind of weird for me. I was expecting better, I guess. Although, I am very pleased with the cliffhangers that they have to set up season 9. First up, they're having another run at the whole mole scenario, except this time Tony's gonna be like handling the mole. In my opinion, it's gotta be someone from the team, just judging by his expression. To me, he looks like shocked. I mean, when Seknav asked if he has any questions, Tony's just... There's just maybe even a little bit of fear in his expression. I kind of think / want it to be Ziva. I think it's Ziva because people have always been suspicious of her. I mean, out of the team, the one most likely to be a spy is obviously Ziva. I want it to be Ziva because I think it'd be great TV drama. I'm sorry, but it'd be great. But keep in mind, even though Seknav and company think that this person is a mole, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to turn out that way. It could be bad intel or a frame-up. But on the bright side, Tony's storyline. Another thing, the chip that EJ took out of Levin's arm. 1, what is that thing? And 2, will Ducky notice the obvious cut on the guy's arm? I mean, I guess it's a microchip. I mean, I really have no idea what that could be. Or maybe it's like undercovers where the girl had the chip in her eye and it was full of secret files. And lastly, there's the text message that Ray received about Court being in Tel Aviv. My first thought was it had something to do with Daddy Director David. We shall see. So my question is, how are these things related? Are they 3 separate storylines or do they all tie in together? Know what it's like to hold the whole wide world in my hands. I don't know why I turned into a southern accent right there. It's a very bad southern accent, but we're gonna try not to do that. See, I can't do Ziva accent. Every time I try to, it's just southern. I'm doing more reviews and there's people watching me. Oh, fuck.